Well, good morning and welcome to the channel. My name is Kubeir and I'm a CICC licensed immigration consultant. Let's talk about the parliamentary meeting. Now, what happens is that obviously the House of Commons in Canada also has committees for different aspects that will concern the Canadian residents, Canadian citizens. One of them is the Standing Committee of Citizenship and Immigration. It's a very aggressive committee. When I'm saying aggressive, means the participants of this committee are not people who will hold back. They basically absolutely demand the answers and that people, you and I, we have from IRCC and from the immigration minister. The link for the meeting that I'm talking about is in the description. The last meeting which held was on the 12th of May, which was attended by Sean Fraser, and obviously there were some difficult questions that he was asked. Let me just share that with you. I will share a small clip because it's a 2-hour long meeting, and trust me, there were so many things that the immigration minister was badgered with, and that is about the fact that the processing times are looking to come down. Most of the ministers or most of the members of parliament who did ask him questions did ask him about the backlogs, and they were quite assertive about it. So very quickly going to this particular stream so we can understand what you're talking about.
Is not just say we're working on it, but to establish specific goals in terms of what is an acceptable wait time for people for specific categories, and to establish timelines in which you intend to realize those goals. So to say, for instance, the current wait times in many categories are clearly unacceptable and create significant hardship for people. So for you to be able to say, these are what acceptable wait times are, and we will seek to have our system working within those wait times within a certain period of time. Is it your intention to identify those goals and timelines and work towards them?
Yeah, and in fact, to go one step further, so the service standards for the different lines of business are what we identify as acceptable wait times, and it'll range based on what stream you're talking about. My goal is to get back to service standards. I think we'll be able to do it on a majority of lines of business, potentially this calendar year. And where we can't do it, we should be broadcasting those timelines. So on the announcement I made on January 31st about some of the investments we're making, we did broadcast some of those timelines. But the step further that I wanted to share with you is we also made the decision to broadcast where we're actually at and not just where the service standards are. Some people may say, hey, look, it's weird for the government to actually be publishing that they're beyond service standards, but I don't think there's a problem with acknowledging that. So we actually have posted publicly the actual processing times so people can see where we are at, where we should be. And if you'd like more details, I expect you want to get to your questions, but Dan Mills from our department would be able probably to each line of business tell you the anticipated timelines to get back to service standard.
Thank you. I would appreciate that information in writing if we can receive at the committee to know what the goals in terms of timelines for coming back to those service standards.
Okay, so this was just one which basically tells you that yes, the service standards are hopefully going to be coming by the end of this calendar year. So basically that they want to bring the service standards. So there are a lot of people who have been asking that they've been looking at the processing times on the IRCC website, where it says that it will take 23 months for the PNP applications, that it will take 2 years for certain applications, and they're freaking out, right? And which is quite possible. So here it is, from the horse's mouth, that they're looking to bring the service standards back into the normal service standards by the end of the calendar year. So as we progress through the year, you will see most applications getting processed faster, hopefully, and from there on they would come back to the normal processing times. So fingers crossed, as we stay forever hopeful. But let me very quickly give you also a glimpse of how many different questions he was asked. So I'm just going to go back and forth on this particular clip to sort of give you how many different people asked him these questions.
Minister, it's been almost 12 weeks since I asked the question about visa-free travel for Ukrainians. We passed, obviously without the support of the Liberals, in this committee.
The comment that our minister made.
And so organized crime can buy them at the corner store. We have had some information that has said that 1/4 of RCMP that work in Quebec, rather than dealing with
volume of people who would be seeking to come in for the purpose of seeking asylum. And I don't think that's the best or most effective way to actually manage the situation. I also think if you
people to resubmit the files if they're not lost. If the minister can't answer that question, I ask him to ponder it and submit an answer to the committee, because I don't want to hear numbers again. I need to get on with my next question.
Can you believe that? I mean, imagine that. Imagine you being badgered by these kind of questions. And this is Jenny Kwan, who is very, very assertive when she asks her question and obviously wants the answers to her question. So as I said,
I have a file in a situation where people asked UNHCR for a referral. That was back in March, and they got an appointment in June 14th. They told UNHCR that they cannot wait because the visa would expire in Pakistan. Meanwhile, similar case went directly to the High Commission of Canada, and they got processed. How is it possible that there could be discrepancy to this magnitude in the treatment of files?
one of the things that's
This is about the PRTD.
2022-2023.
it takes to get through these cases, not regions of.
You said you had a plan. My first question is simply, can you give us that plan? Can you provide it to us in?
Well, enough of those. I mean, I'm sure you will find this quite insightful if you at least have 2 hours to sort of, watch this video. As I said, the link is in the description box. So please, by all means, do take a look at it. As I said, it can be quite insightful to understand the different questions the minister gets asked and how many times he will obviously get badgered for not having an answer sometimes. And sometimes I feel for him. That's his job. That's the job he has picked himself to be in. And he has a responsibility to deliver to you, to me, to everybody else who is filing applications, who is demanding a service, because, hey, that's your job. That's your responsibility. So, pull up yourself and start delivering. What is also being announced, and again, you can check that 2-hour-long video with the immigration minister in the standing committee, where he has also stated that they are looking to, let me bring this up. And he said, I'm very excited about the new flexibilities that they're going to bring into the immigration system. And we are going to be pursuing in the immigration express entry system, which will allow us with more precision to target workers to fill gaps in the key sectors soon. Keep in mind, guys, the fact that express entry system will change, that is a certainty. That is not something which is a figment of imagination. That is an absolute certainty. And the problem and the thing here, which is again being mentioned in this last parliamentary meeting with Sean Fraser as well, that they are absolutely bringing in changes, or they will bring in the changes. And if you can read here, it says to target workers to fill gaps in key sectors soon. So there will definitely be a change which will come, which will identify specific occupations and invite them in the express entry. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, that is similar to provincial nominee programs. Well, yes, in the fundamental manner, it will be specific to the provincial nominee programs. But then provincial nominee programs have different requirements and eligibility criteria. Express entry system will have different requirements and eligibility criteria. Express entry still will have a CRS score. That is not going to change because that is into the fundamentals of the express entry system. So the process or the program is probably going to be something like express entry score so-and-so, occupation code so-and-so, work experience of so many years, invited. Yes, provincial nominee programs also operate in a certain manner, but how many provincial nominee programs are there who are inviting people like this? Ontario, yes. Saskatchewan, yes. That's it. And Alberta, but nobody knows who Alberta invites, right? So because we do not know who they invite, it's always a mystery. Who else is there? Nova Scotia? How many draws do they conduct in a year? 1, 2, 3? And how many people do they invite? It's one of the smallest provinces. They only have a quota of 1,200, 1,300 people. Where will the rest of the people go? Express entry. That is where the 200,000 people in the express entry pool are. So this is something which we will all have to keep our eyes on. Obviously, we will keep watching with interest whenever these grilling sessions for the immigration minister happen, because I find them very, very enjoyable. And we can pick up more and more information from them as and when they happen. That is basically what I wanted to talk to you about. Thank you so much for joining in. If you're not following us on Instagram, then please do so. And we are also on TikTok. Yeah, so please do follow us on TikTok. Ask Kubeir is the name there. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's great to see those numbers going up. So it's always nice to see the numbers going up even more. Thank you once again for joining in. It was great, again, doing this roundup, and we shall see you next time.